The world's most powerful passports by Nerdcassette. Please go subscribe. Now, I don't believe the US is #1. It's up there, but it's definitely not #1. Just to go over it, a powerful passport means you can pretty much travel places without visas to a bunch of countries around the world.
Compare them across 199 countries. Afghanistan has the weakest passport globally, offering visa-free travel to only 26 destinations.
I didn't think Afghanistan would be the lowest. I thought it would be like North Korea or something. We're starting off with Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. 30, around 30 I think is still, pretty interesting.
Weakest passport globally.
Still 30.
Offering visa-free travel to only 26 destinations.
I didn't know what the lowest would have. I thought there was a chance that it was like 10, maybe. You can go to 10 places, 10 countries. I am actually kind of curious who accepts the Afghanistan passport. Some of them are Bangladesh, Dominica, Madagascar. This is such an interesting bunch of countries. I wouldn't expect these ones.
And Pakistan.
We also have Pakistan. We're now at like half a star right here. Somalia, Palestine, Nepal. See, North Korea is surprisingly high. They're ranked in 100th place. Now I have to look at that map too. Wait, what? It's not China? What? Russia is listed, although this list is showing that some type of visa might be required. You could do it at arrival or get like an e-visa though. Okay, so we're starting to get a little bit higher here.
100th
they all have 39
to 39 visa-free destinations.
I don't think I made my prediction exactly on who I think is going to be #1. I feel like it's going to be like a really rich country, Luxembourg or Switzerland. Iran. Maybe something random like the island of Malta. Like who wouldn't accept someone from Malta? They're so rare, like a rare Pokemon. Every country's like, yeah, come on, I want to meet someone from Malta.
Access to 43 visa-free destinations.
Like. We're now up to 1 star. We've got places like Iran, Sudan,
Ethiopia, and Lebanon are ranked 96th and offer access
still in
to
the
44
90s.
visa-free destinations.
We're still getting up there, and I'm trying to think. I think it's important to note that like these destination numbers, even though the ranking's going up, the amount of actual destination country, they're all like around the same. They're hovering around the 40s.
And Liberia.
So we started around 30.
47 destinations.
We're in 94. The 94th ranking,
Congo,
or the 90s
Haiti,
ranking, but it's still like 47, 48,
in World Passports ranking.
49. We have Laos
and Turkmenistan both offer 49 visa-free destinations.
Oh, these are tied. I see. Oh, but that's right, because the first country, what was it, Afghanistan, there was like 130, actually not even that, 107. So there are nations that are tied, because a lot of nations are just going to have similar number of destinations. Specifically right here, look at all these nations that are ranked 88th, because it's always, it's only 53 destinations. This is such an interesting discussion. There's so much that goes into visa power and passports, passport power, I guess you should say, and visa power, certain visas. Definitely a lot of politics, a lot of political things happen.
Cuba, Mongolia,
Cuba's got 62.
80th.
Mongolia, so we're now at the 2-star
visa-free destination.
I think the U.S. is in the top 15, but I don't know if they're in the top 5, to be honest, as we slowly approach Cape Verde, Zimbabwe, Ghana. They're all ranked around 78, 77. Once we get like to about 100 destinations, you're able to go to like half of the world around there, more or less. I guess it depends. So all the EU is going to be the same, right? Will all the EU be the same, around the same?
Tanzania, Zambia,
I don't know how that's going to go.
Dominican Republic offer access to 70 destinations.
We're at 2.5 stars now, but all these countries are still ranked 73rd. Wow, China is actually surprisingly very low. That is the first real shocker here in the middle of the video. So some of the visa-free places China can go to are India, Pakistan, Myanmar, Russia. You can also go to Ukraine and Turkey. A couple places in Africa as well. I'm wondering how much this affects their travel advisory map. I just reviewed that recently. They were actually pretty chill compared to all the other countries. They were like, yeah, just go for it, have fun.
It offers access to 71 visa-free destination.
So Indonesia offers more, Eswatini offers more, Thailand also,
access to
not too much more. There's just,
it's
only like a couple more countries possibly. Kazakhstan still up there. I wonder what gives certain nations the snow effect. Why do they get snow and not other? I mean, I guess you kind of have to be snowy.
Oman, Saudi Arabia,
wouldn't make much sense for Saudi Arabia to have the snow effect.
81 destinations.
Saudi Arabia, pretty high there. Belarus. I mean, I don't know. It kind of depends on what you're talking about in terms of how. It's all relative, I'm guessing. It depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from Afghanistan, then yeah, these nations are offering a pretty powerful passport. Surprised at Fiji. Fiji is only a 3-star passport? Why is that? That seems a little bit odd. Maybe people just don't know about the island of Fiji. That's the only thing I can...
Qatar is ranked 55th
only thing I could say.
And offers access to 99 visa-free destinations.
Not at 100, but close. You would think a lot of countries would want Qatari citizens to come in. They're very rich. They got a lot of money. Look at Russia go. They're ranked 52nd. They have a 3.5-star passport. 111 destinations. Micronesia has them beat it. Okay, so Fiji doesn't really have an excuse. I mean, look at some of these other small islands that have way more destinations.
120 visa-free destinations.
There's a lot of islands. Actually, here come all the islands. I thought islands would automatically be like anyone would want someone from an island to come on in. It's Tonga time. 125 destinations. They're ranked 43rd. Tuvalu. Okay, hold on. Now I'm curious. Fijian citizens require a visa to enter about 140 destinations. Even we here in the US ask for people from Fiji to have a visa. I don't know. That just seems weird.
Serbia is ranked 36th.
Serbia is at 134.
Offer access to 135.
Some of this is a geographical thing, I think, for sure. I think all the countries in Europe are going to probably have a lot more destinations, even though, you know, Serbia is in a weird spot in Europe. They're just kind of, they're gonna have a little bit more options in terms of the places they can go. But man, Paraguay is a lot more
Ukraine
powerful.
Is ranked 29.
Ukraine 148.
To 148.
Central America also has tons of destinations. I'm noticing Costa Rica, Honduras. There are more islands, 151. Some of the best passports, I think, are the islands. Oh, the Pope can go almost anywhere. Okay, who's not letting the Pope? It's only, how many people live in the Vatican City? It's like 100 people. I'm a little surprised that it's only a 4-star passport.
And Uruguay.
Can I become a citizen of the Vatican? How do you do that? Do I have to become the Pope
visa-free
to do that? Uruguay, Mexico's 157.
23rd. And
Which
Israel offers
Mexico is relatively high. I didn't think it was that high. They're 23rd ranked.
Access to 160.
Israel's at 22 at 4.5 stars. Brazil
is ranked 20th.
Okay, it's getting interesting.
Access to
Here's the top 20. We haven't seen the U.S. Here's Hong Kong. So Hong Kong still have a separate passport. The Hong Kong passport is so much more powerful than China. That's crazy. Is that still a thing? I thought there's been some chaos over there. San Marino, 172 destinations, 4.5-star passport. Croatia,
Bulgaria, Romania, and the United Arab Emirates.
Still haven't seen the U.S. Okay, I said that we would be
of most powerful
above
passports.
100. Oh, I love that we get to see these passports. Look at the Cyprus passport. Is it really pink? That's really cool. Monaco, Slovenia. Oh, I thought that was going to be the U.S. No.
Slovenia,
okay, so the
Malaysia,
USA is
Estonia,
in the top
Latvia.
10.
Offer
181 destinations. Latvia, Slovakia, Lithuania. We're now in the top 10. Iceland's at 183. Iceland gets the nice cool snow effect. Liechtenstein. These are 5-star passports right here. Poland, Czech Republic.
Ranking of the most powerful
surprised the US is this high because we actually can't go to. I mean, when I look at it, I'm a little surprised at all the places we can't go to. Here's Australia, Canada.
Ranked 7th.
Did we miss the USA?
Malta,
there's the US right there.
United States of America
we're all ranked 6th.
Offering
I thought Canada would have more of a powerful passport.
Destinations.
New Zealand is
Ireland, New Zealand.
There's Switzerland. Didn't I mention Switzerland? I knew Switzerland was going to be high.
Belgium and Portugal.
Is Liechtenstein, is Luxembourg
of the most powerful
been up there?
passports.
Here's 5th. Here's 4th. All the Nordics are going to have pretty powerful passports. Although I think we passed Finland already.
Sweden,
there's Luxembourg.
the Netherlands,
Dang, my pick was
Luxembourg, and
I think
Austria
it was them.
Are ranked 4th and offer access to 188
Who's number 1? It's got to be a small city-state. Is it like Monaco in Europe? Spain's got a pretty powerful passport.
Denmark, Italy,
Germany,
Spain, Germany, France.
Yeah, they've got some good ones. Oh, Finland. There's Finland.
Are all ranked 3rd in the global ranking of the
doing
most
a lot
powerful
better than us.
passports.
South Korea
is ranked
How does South
2nd
Korea?
And offers access to
It's Japan and Singapore.
Visa-free destinations.
Wow, I wouldn't expect that. I knew it was gonna be a small place though. I kind of figured that. 192 visa-free access countries from Singapore. That's insane. You can go anywhere in the world. This is insane. It's I think a big part of it too in terms terms of the chart is how many places you have in Africa. Because I know in Africa, when it comes to the US, there's a lot of places we can't go, like visa-free, I mean. I think to really rank up high in the list, yeah, you have to be on good terms with a lot of the countries in Africa, because there's like 50 nations here, obviously. Surprised they even need an e-visa for so much of Asia. Finally, we've shown so many other maps. Here's the USA passport strength, so they were ranked pretty high in the list. However, you'll notice there's a lot of light blue, e-visa, visa on arrival, or payment required. Australia is the big one. I thought New Zealand wasn't like that though. This stuff is always changing, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, I'm always shocked you need a visa for Australia. I know a lot of Americans that go there, so I just figured it was visa free. Thought we weren't allowed to go to Cuba either, but I don't know. That always changes. Again, that video is by Nerd Cassette. Please go subscribe. Here are the most popular alliances around the world. Now, everyone is talking about BRICS. Unfortunately, this person has to update their video because they just added a bunch of new members. Regardless, please go subscribe to Large Data Comparison. He releases video and then like BRICS literally just announced an expansion. That's so funny. I hate when that happens. It happens in my videos all the time. Another big alliance is the GCC, a 6-member alliance. Pretty much almost everyone in the Arabian Peninsula. I'm actually always surprised to find out how many alliances I don't know about the world. That's why I'm excited to see this video. I feel like I learn about new alliances almost every week. So there's kind of this Northwest African alliance here. There's obviously the G7. We hear all about that. There's another, wow, so this is more Arabian, this is everybody in the Arabian Peninsula, but it also includes Egypt, Sudan, Iraq, Syria. I'm sure all these alliances work very differently. I should mention that too. A little 8-member alliance out of the south part of the subcontinent of India. I'm actually curious about that one. So this is specifically the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. It's important to remember that these are not all necessarily military alliances. Just like BRICS is not a military alliance. Sometimes it's like an economic one or a political one. That's why there's so many of them I haven't heard of. There's the G8, which includes Russia in that one. A little bit different. We have SCO, which is like all of Asia almost. This is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And yeah, that one is definitely a big one. There's also Asian. I always forget how to pronounce that one, but that's a pretty I love, it's just nice. That's like visually nice to look at. I mean, maybe they should include, you know, Papua New Guinea to really complete it, but so many like alternative history maps of all these countries like coming together, uniting. I have heard of CIS, like all the former Soviet states kind of coming together. We also have South America unifying there. OPEC, that's a big one. That comes up in the news a lot. We have the G20, so there's all sorts of different Gs. There's APEC, also heard of that one. These ones are scary. You always hear these terms in some articles where like something bad happens, like this meeting happened and the world's gonna end. Not exactly like that, but the Arab League, there's the European Union, we've got some more popular ones, NATO, what is this? Community of Latin American states and Caribbean. Oh, so we have like pretty much all of Latin America combining, even more than that, because I think they have the 3 like non-technically Latin speaking countries, Guyana, Suriname. They don't technically speak a Latin language. There's the OAS, which is like the Western Hemisphere. OECD, OECD is what I have. Latin Union, just kidding. The Latin Union, look at the Latin Union. Oh, I did think about, this is like 6 months ago when I figured this one out. There's literally a Latin Union. It sounds like some sort of alternative history map. The Latin Union is an alliance of states that consists of 38 countries from almost all regions worldwide. And I like how the Philippines are included even though they don't speak Spanish. They were colonized by Spain. They have some similar words, but it's real different. This is a pretty cool one. Oh, that's so funny. They actually actively do not invite the parts of Latin America that actually don't speak like this. It's funny. Speak like Dutch and English here. So French Guyana is obviously invited. All the Latin speaking parts of Europe are invited to the club. Well, the Vatican are kind of more or less. That's weird. The Vatican is, why is the Vatican not a dark red? Portugal colonized this area. Shouldn't Equatorial Guinea be there? Don't they speak Spanish? Shouldn't more of Africa be included? Like there's a lot of parts of Africa that speak French. East Timor. This is a cool one. I feel like I want to do this, bring all those countries together in like a video game or something. Have them fight it out. There's the G33, the Commonwealth of Nations, the African Union. If that is always a fantasy, them all coming together, uniting under the African Union. The non-aligned movement, is that still a thing? Cold War ended so long ago. Do they still do that? The WTO, It's a big organization. Of course, there's the UN and UNESCO. This is a cool video. There's a lot to learn here. And apparently there are still many others that could be included. An interesting thing about this is these maps probably always need to be updated because people are being invited, or maybe some people are even leaving. Again, the video is by Large Data Comparison. Please go subscribe. The richest countries on Earth as of 2023. We're starting off with Hamburg, Germany. We have Cleveland, Ohio, ranked 98th in the US. Monterrey, Mexico's beating them out. I'm trying to make my prediction for who's number 1 here. Probably a city from, or is it Singapore? It might be Singapore. Definitely Tokyo is, I'm thinking, in the top 10. So the US is going to have a lot. India's going to have a lot. China's going to have a lot. It's going to be interesting to see some of the nations that have really big overall economies, but it's really just because it's like 2 or 3 cities that are pulling everything up, the whole nation up, basically. I'm trying to think who would that be. Maybe Australia's a big country. I bet you Australia has, they pack a punch with some of those places. I just don't know which one it's going to be. We've got Sacramento. Is this video just going to be basically like between USA and China? We've got Pittsburgh. Pretty much, if you look at the top 2 biggest economies, yeah, it is really going to be just USA and China mostly. I'm thinking we're going to see another German city, Frankfurt. Is Frankfurt the most economically powerful German city? I believe it is. I actually have not even, I'm sorry to say, I've not heard of that German city. I'm surprised that they're doing so well. Clearly, I need to research a little bit more. Okay, Rome, that's got to be the, or is it Florence for Italy? Never mind. I was going to say it's got to be the top city for Italy, but maybe not. Chile's doing pretty good, but that is their capital. So Chile's, that's probably their top performing city in their entire nation. Probably the same for Colombia. There's Berlin. Yeah, Frankfurt is making more than Berlin. That's at least my guess. I'm thinking if you, I mean, I don't know, but if you see a country's capital on the list, it might be safe to assume that they're not going to pop back up, but I don't know, and I'm kind of curious now to keep an eye on that. There's Bangladesh. This is, again, their capital. Yeah, Germany's got a lot, and Germany's up there. So we haven't even hit a single Japanese city, which is so funny. So I think my theory might be true. It's going to be like Tokyo, Osaka. There might be like 3 big ones there, because Japan is the 3rd biggest economy in the world, if I remember correctly, if they haven't fallen at all. Montreal, not Monterrey. We already saw Monterrey, Mexico. Lima, Peru. A lot of Saudi Arabian cities. Definitely some places in some big oil nations in the Arabian Peninsula are going to be popping up. Barcelona, Spain. Does Barcelona, Spain make more than Madrid? I don't know. I'll keep an eye on that. There's Australia. Here we go. Here's the first Japanese city to pop up. Kuwait. China's now back in the game. Tel Aviv and Israel. China's coming actually back. China's going to have a lot. The top 10 is going to be, I think 7 out of 10 will be China, maybe. Or it depends on how much USA. Wow, Riverside, San Bernardino? Wait, first of all, I think that's a whole other aspect, because how do you even define cities in 2023? It's so difficult. Riverside is a county, but whatever. That's so shocking to see them on here. That's not the way I see Riverside to be that rich, but apparently they are. Manila in the Philippines, Baltimore, USA. Nanjing, there goes the Netherlands, Rotterdam, oh, Amsterdam/Rotterdam, okay, yeah, so some of these places are being combined. There's Frankfurt, Germany. Is that really the top place for Germany? They're in 56th. Denver, USA, oh no, Munich is right there. Mexico City, I wanted to mention that I knew Mexico City was pulling in more than Monterrey. I think that's it for Mexico here. Those 2 are going to be the only 2 in the top 100. Istanbul, Turkey, Wuhan, China. There we go. There's the UK popping up. London should be in the top 20, I think, but I don't know. Definitely South Korea with Seoul is going to be coming towards the top. Isn't that just it? South Korea's Busan and Seoul. It's a tiny nation, but they pack a punch. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Bangkok, Thailand. Here comes a lot more Chinese cities. But we can't forget about Detroit. Man, Detroit is still 43rd. That's crazy. They always talk about how Detroit is struggling. It's still the 43rd most rich city, apparently, according to this, as of 2023. There's Minneapolis, there's Phoenix, there's San Diego, another Californian city. California does make the most money in all of the USA, so I guess we shouldn't be too surprised that they're popping up a lot here. Oh, Madrid does make more than Barcelona. That's interesting. Delhi in India, Mumbai in India. Mumbai makes more than Delhi. Another Chinese city, here's Jakarta, Indonesia, and Melbourne, Australia. Didn't I say there was going to be 3 cities that popped up for Australia? Am I already wrong about that? Have we seen 3? There's another Californian city, San Jose in the USA, Manchester, UK, Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is its own thing. It's not being considered under China. They're doing their thing. Japan, okay, I didn't expect to see that city on there. Japan has their own Eiffel Tower. Miami is in 29th. We've got Moscow for Russia. That's got to be the top spot for Russia, their top city, I'm thinking. Singapore is only in 27th. I was kind of shocked by that. If such a strong passport, I don't know. There's Sydney. I think that's the top one for Australia then. I'm guessing Taipei, Taiwan in 25th. Here comes a bunch of Chinese cities. They're coming up. It's China and the USA, Atlanta, and then we have Seattle. There's the I've been up there, like that area. Toronto is beating out Seattle. I'm thinking if there's gonna be more Canadian cities. Philadelphia. Is there gonna be more Canadian cities? I haven't been paying attention. Yes, maybe. I don't know. Milan is up there. Okay, Milan. It wasn't Florence. Maybe Florence is still to come. Houston is in 16th. Boston is in 15th. Dallas, Fort Worth is in 14th. Whoa. Okay, there's a lot. Okay, so that means I think China has the top 10. It keeps on going. Washington, D.C., San Francisco. Here we go. Here's Beijing. Beijing is only in 11th, and it is not Frankfurt. Wow, Germany. Okay, here goes Osaka. Already, I'm a little bit surprised by the beginning part of the top 10. Shanghai, China. Then we have Chicago. It's New York and then L.A. or San Francisco. There's Seoul as the 6th richest city in the world. We have Paris, France. Is it just Paris, France for France? I don't know if I noticed any other French cities here. There's London. London is beating out with over $1 trillion. There's Los Angeles, number 3. The top 2. Okay, it's Tokyo, number 1. New York is number 2, and then there it is. Tokyo is number 1. Oh, there's actually, I thought there'd be a lot more Chinese cities in the top 10, but I'm underestimating the punch that Paris and London still pack. This is also something that probably changes a lot year to year. That video was by a beautiful comparison. Please go subscribe. And like I said, please go subscribe to all these channels. Big thanks to my patrons. DestineyF, 9,000. Drew needs to pay his taxes.
Why am I doing
this?
JohnDenver,
I'm the kidnapper.
Jack
Traven's annoying friends.
Ransom. This channel is owned by
Carmel
Saida.
Australia is real. I am not a paid actor.
LuxembourgLover.
Patrick
RyeThePie.
Subscribe to
TheGreatRalphy.
Twickenhamster.
Become
Become a patron by checking the description down below.